Linda was used to looking down on people like Jade until she saw her face on the giant billboard right outside her desk. Everything froze, the cashier went pale, the manager clutched his head, and Jade just smiled. But what happened a minute later made the entire supermarket gasp and changed their lives forever. Let's start at the beginning. The Green Mart supermarket in Chicago hummed with the usual hustle and bustle. The air smelled of sanitizer and plastic packages, and fluorescent lights buzzed monotonously under the ceiling. Lines stretched along the checkout lines, people were shuffling from foot to foot, staring tiredly into their phones. At cash register No. 3 sat Linda, a cashier with a perpetually strained smile for the right customers and an icy stare for those she deemed unworthy of her attention. Blonde, with a manicure in patriotic colors and a name tag that read Linda, your perfect service. She radiated fake friendliness, but only until the wrong customer was in front of her. When Jade, a dark-skinned girl in a simple hoodie and jeans, approached her ribbon, Linda didn't even look up. Next, she mumbled, as if she were announcing the number in line at the dentist. Jade silently placed a bottle of water and a pack of cookies on the tape. Linda swiped sharply with the scanner without even looking at the merchandise. The packages are paid for, she said, holding out the change as if she were afraid to touch Jade's fingers. The coins clinked against the counter, one falling to the floor. Thank you, Jade replied quietly, bending down to pick up the change. Linda had already turned away, sighing loudly as if serving this customer was a challenge from above. Behind Jade's back, a couple of teenagers giggled. One of them, a lanky blonde in a baseball cap, nudged the other with his elbow and nodded toward the cash register. What's up, Linda, you got those again? He grinned. The cashier didn't answer, but the corner of her lips trembled almost approvingly. She didn't hide her contempt, and it encouraged the others. Jade silently gathered her purchases, feeling the familiar burning in her chest. Her fingers trembled slightly as she stuffed the cookies into the hoodie's pocket. Why did I even take the bag? It wasn't offered anyway. It was a burning she knew all too well, a mixture of shame, anger, and the very fatigue that accumulated over the years, drop by drop. She was used to this attitude, but today it was especially painful. After all, just an hour ago her face, framed in professional makeup, had shone on the screen of a glamour cosmetics lawyer's iPad while she signed a contract. The face of the brand. The phrase sounded like a taunt as Linda tossed her change. Maybe you'd be more comfortable at another store? The cashier tossed sarcastically, noticing that Jade had lingered at the register a second longer than necessary. Linda's voice was as sweet as spoiled honey, a fake sympathy that hid a get out. Jade just shook her head, unable to get a word out, and turned to leave. But she ran into Mr. Brown at the door. The Green Mart manager, a heavy-set man in a too-tight suit, usually walked with a stone face. But now his eyes flashed as if he'd seen a celebrity. Ms. Carter? Jade Carter? He literally bloomed, extending his hand for a handshake. Jade responded to the gesture machinally, not yet realizing what was going on. Just saw the commercial, congratulations on the contract. Mr. Brown spoke loudly, deliberately so everyone around him could hear. Our store is proud to have you buying from us. Silence. Linda froze. Her fingers, which had just been tossing change, were now frozen over the cash register keypad. What? Linda's voice trembled, for the first time in a while. Not that arrogant, habitually irritated tone, but a squeezed, almost childish squeak. Mr. Brown turned the phone around. On the screen, in perfect HD resolution, Jade shone, her skin as if polished by the warm light of softs, her lips accentuated by Glamour's signature lipstick, her eyes looking out at the world with ablationary confidence. Advertising banner, the new face of the brand. Glamour Cosmetics, beauty beyond boundaries, you. Is that you? Linda went pale. Her fingers gripped the edge of the cash register so white her knuckles turned white. Jade nodded slowly. Taking her time. Enjoying the moment. Yes. A pause. But, you know, after a reception like that, I think I'll probably be buying my makeup elsewhere. Her voice was calm, even, almost polite. But her eyes. Cold fury burned in them, not screaming, not hysterical, but as precise as a blade. Mr. Brown turned sharply toward Linda. All his friendly tone had evaporated. Now he spoke quietly, slowly, with murderous clarity. You just lost us a client with $1 million contract. Another second, and his voice exploded like a clapper, in my office. Now. Linda didn't move. It was as if she hoped that if she froze, everything would disappear. But Jade had already turned to leave, and Mr. Brown was waiting, and his gaze spoke, "You're already dead. Let's go." A week later, Jade posted a photo on social media. The shot was perfect. She was shining on a billboard in the center of Chicago, huge, undeniable, beautiful. It was as if the entire city now belonged to her, or at least its views. The caption read, "Sometimes the best revenge is to just keep shining." Hashtags, #glamour cosmetics, #face of the brand, #karma is a beauty. The likes poured in like confetti. And Linda got fired. Not by scandal, not by shouting, quietly, by email, with a dry wording, non-compliance with corporate customer service policy. She went to get her stuff on a Saturday morning, hoping no one would see. But they did. And as she blushed with embarrassment as she carried the box of trinkets out of Green Mart, she got the final blow. At the bus stop, right in front of her was that billboard. Jade. Full length. In the morning sun. Smiling. Not gloating, no, that would be too easy. She smiled as if she knew. As if it spoke without words, look. Here it is, a world where you don't decide anything anymore. Linda turned away. But the billboard was huge. It was impossible not to see it.